part 2 of a series on hammock camping, or hammocking, or whatever you want to call it, hanging from 2 trees. A lot of people think we're a bit weird. You ground dwellers probably think we're a bit weird. But as I said before, a lot of guys are scared of hammocks, or they've had bad experiences with hammocks. Now, on my first video, I kind of skipped the part about the adjusting the suspension. I showed you the tree straps, I showed you the marlin spike, but what I didn't show you is how to adjust the whoopee slings. Now I use whoopee slings. You can use tree straps, you can use what they call crane straps that have got like loops coming down them and your carabiner on, but for me I've always liked the whoopee slings. So if you come in a little bit closer, and I'll show you, it's a simple system really, a whoopee sling. Now, like most people, when I first started using these, I was a bit dubious to trust my weight, because I'm no lightweight. I mean, I'm a little bit lighter than what I used to be, but I'm no lightweight. To trust myself to that. But believe you me, that stuff's got like £1 million worth of braking strain. It's not quite £1 million, but it's hell of a strength is that stuff. And basically, what it does, it's got a hollow centre, and it splices through itself like this, and that creates this what they call a locked brummel. Now, to adjust that, the simplest way to adjust that is to put your hand in there and get hold of this piece that runs through. So this piece here runs right through the centre of itself and out this way. So the easiest way to do it is to get hold of that piece, get your fingers in there and just push, and you'll see that brummel compress. And as it compresses, that's your adjustment. To go to tighten up, same the other end, get your hand in there, get hold of the end that's fed through in the middle, and just push that up. Now once you've got that adjusted to where you want, you just what they call milk that, like that, and that'll lock in. And what I like to do, just for a little bit of safety, is just put an half inch in there. And that's it. That's all locked in. And again, you can adjust that. There's an infinite amount of adjustment on that. And these will work. They don't just work with the marlin spike hitch. These will work with a carabiner just as well. Okay guys, so that's your adjustment with whoopee slings. So that's one thing explained with whoopee slings. And we'll move on to the next thing what I think is important in just a second. And that's pitching your tarp. Now you can pitch your tarp a few different ways, and we'll get into that shortly. So stay with me, guys, and we'll get a tarp chucked up over this, and we'll go from there. Okay. Okay. So we've got a tarp set up now. We've got a tarp tied out. You guys who are ground dwellers, you know about your tarp setups. You can have a continuous ridge line if you want. You can have it internally on your tarp. You can have it externally on your tarp. You can have a separate ridge line. This tarp I've got set with just tie outs, because this tarp's got like a strengthened ridge line on it, so you don't need a continuous line all the way through. It's just got these tie out points. With these tensioners, these Dutch wear tensioners, but by all means you don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. It's in snake skins, what they call snake skins, which makes it an easier way of stowing a tarp. If it's wet, it's not going to wet the rest of your kit. I really like snake skins. I'm a big fan of these, but again, you don't need them. If you guys have got a DD tarp, or a 10th Wonder tarp, or an Eno tarp, or a Kilty tarp, or whatever, you know, it doesn't really matter what tarp you've got. You can use, you don't have to go out, what I'm trying to say is you don't have to go out and buy a specific tarp just for hammock camping. As long as it covers your hammock, use it. You can use a £3 tarp from B&Q, don't matter. But this is like I say, this is in snake skins. So to take it out of the snake skins is so easy. So you just take it, pulling these back. Pulling these back like this, lifting that over there. Now an important thing to consider when you're pitching your tarp over your hammock is weather conditions. Just like pitching a tarp on the ground, you want to be mindful of wind direction, if it's raining, if there's snow forecast, you know, what time of year it is. If it's summertime, you know, you might want to go for a nice, what they call porch setup. So you've got this area in case it rains, to sit under, to cook under, whatever. So you've got this area. We might go through different tarp setups in a later video, maybe show you porch mode and stuff. But it's autumn time. It's a clear day. There's not a lot of wind, but what might happen is it's going to drop cold, and what you don't want is a big wide pitch like this, and that gentle freezing cold air is going to drop through there at night time, and it's going to rob all the heat out of your underquilt. So when the weather's like this, what you want to do is you want a fairly low pitch, so that the bottom edge of that tarp is going to protect your underquilt from heat loss, so it's going to trap you. So again, another thing I do, not saying you have to do it, but this is just what I do. I have detachable lines on this. I don't keep the lines fixed. My tie outs, I don't keep them fixed, for the simple reason it's a pain in the ass, you know, to try and get them all into a neat little ball and get them in the snake skins. I want to be, you know, when I'm dropping my set, I want to be away as quickly as possible. So I've got detachable lines. I just unclip them. That goes in its snake skins. The lines come out of the ground, and I'll wrap them up. So just bear with me 1 second, guys, and I'll get my lines out and I'll show you what I mean. Okay. Right, guys. So I've got my lines, and if you see, they're pre-spliced onto my stakes. Oh, it's pretty fancy, but I just like making stuff. You guys that know me, you know I just can't help myself. So I spliced them onto the end. Yes, these are titanium, but they're from China, so the cheapest chips. You know, don't go out spending a fortune on titanium kit. It's just what I like to do. Normal tent pegs, that's what they'll, you know, anything they'll do. Carve some wooden ones, it doesn't matter. But like I said, these are detachable lines, and they've got these little adjusters on them. So I just run around really quickly, and I'm going to pitch this. Let's say it's mid-October now, nice and sunny, but I know for a fact that tonight it's going to be cold because we're in for clear skies tonight. So I'm going to pitch this as fair. I'm going to pitch it fairly low. So we'll tidy that line up in a bit once I'm happy with that. So I'm going round now, hooking these on, pitching nice and low. And for some reason I like to set these in pairs. I don't know why, maybe because you've got a left pair and a right pair. Not that you have, because they're all exactly the same, but for some reason I just like to set these up in pairs. They do get a bit tangled, but I think maybe I were in a bit of a rush last time to get packed up. So again, find your tie out loop. Bring that down to the ground. Don't need it to show anybody, any of you how to put a peg in. All pretty standard stuff, guys. There we go, we'll sort them out in a bit, but that's it, you know. That's That's how I pitch. And if you look underneath there, you'll see that that's just below the point where my underquilt is. That's just below the point where my underquilt is. The ridge line of the tarp is pretty much touching the ridge line of the hammock. Now, once I'm in there, that's going to separate, so don't worry about drip through and stuff like that. So you've got a nice bit of tension there. Obviously tension's important when you're pitching a tarp. Most of you guys know how to pitch a tarp now. Well, that's it. That's how I pitch a hammock tarp in the winter time. So you've got a nice steep side like this, a nice low pitch, so that wind and that cold air is not going to get underneath and steal all that valuable heat from your underquilt. And like I've said, there's various ways that you can pitch your tarp depending on the time of year, the weather conditions. But just be mindful of that wind direction, because that can make the hell of a lot of difference between a good night's sleep and a bad night's sleep. If that wind's coming through, even if it's only a 5 or 6 mile an hour wind in the winter time, that can be really, really detrimental to the heat loss. So just be mindful of that, guys, and get out there and get hammocking. Uncle Beard out.